Good morning, humanity. It's August 30th, 2021, and it's our favorite time of the week because it's Mondays with Bev and Paul. But we don't have Bev. We got Kai Cox. Yoo-hoo!
Hello.
Hey, Kai. Stepping in for Bev, huh?
Yeah, just this one time.
Just this one. I don't know if you do too good, we might change it to the Bev and Kai show. I'll just
We
be the
could have some
techie.
fun.
Yeah. All right. So as you notice here, Bev is on the road on her way here to southern Arizona, and she'll be back with us next week, hopefully, if she's settled in. So we're going to have Kai Cox with us, the new mother of the group, and we're going to talk about motherhood and BioTouch. And also, if you're interested, you can go to her website, awakeninnatehealing.com. So, Kai, tell us first, how did you even get involved in BioTouch? I know you've told us before, but let's tell it again.
All right. Well, I do love telling it. So it's all thanks to my mom, as so many things
One
are.
mom to another, motherhood
Yep,
and BioTouch. There we go.
exactly. So that makes me second generation, which is fun. So she came home from taking the class because she found BioTouch to help with her fibromyalgia, and came home and pretty much said, Kai, this class is going to change your life. And me being in my early 20s was like, yeah, I'll get to it. And then it happened to be, I was right next door to BioTouch, well, two doors down, working in the chiropractor's office. And Paul was like, after getting a massage, are you coming to our class this weekend? Normally I worked all weekend long and I had no one booked. And I said, well, it looks like I am. And it's history ever since.
Right on.
Once again, my mom was right, since I know she's probably watching this.
So that is interesting. I always forget, that like the title of the show, Motherhood and Biotouch. Here it was. She passed it on to you, and then you went through the whole program, got certified, became an instructor, yeah, and you incorporated into your practice that you do now.
Yes. So I no longer see people in person, but back when I was, um, I ended doing these sessions called Bio Connection. So BioTouch was the main
Huh.
part, and then intuitive readings, and working with scalar energy and that kind of thing. However, since my role now is being a mother, I don't bring anyone into the home anymore. So
Interesting, interesting. So, motherhood. So, you became a mother. We don't have to talk about how you became a mother.
all right.
Hopefully, everyone knows that. And if you don't,
Yes.
send us a DM us or personal message us, and we'd be happy to talk to you about it.
The birds and the bees.
But the stork dropped it off on your. So tell us. Okay, so you got pregnant,
Mhm.
and how did you all of a sudden start to think about BioTouch and how to use it, and what did you start doing, just even through the pregnancy part of it?
Well, it was the main thing I would go to when I was in pain because pregnancy brings a whole slew of new pains. So luckily my husband took the training as well. He's a practitioner, and when I'd be like, oh, my back hurts, sometimes he would massage it, but also I'd be like, okay, but I really need the back set. Like, this is what I need. Or, like we need to do the greeting right now because then it can be a 30-second exchange that we both benefit from. So that was the main thing throughout the whole pregnancy. And then the biggest thing that really opened my eyes was I was talking to a few different doulas, and I'm so happy that I ended with my doula, Angie, and she was even willing to become a practitioner so that I knew I would have that in the, because I gave birth at the hospital. Of course, my husband was there, but I didn't know how he was going to react. He was a first dad as well. And I also, right. I also knew that, some things are going to probably be pretty shocking for him, and he would need BioTouch as well. And I wasn't going to be the one to do it. Like, oh, I'm in labor, but here's BioTouch. Right?
That's
So,
funny.
like, we are just beyond grateful that Angie, our doula, was there with us. And, that was something that she had up her sleeve, you know, um, I before she left, I was like, "Can I get the greeting just one more time?"
So
So,
did she? So you had it before during the pregnancy with your husband,
yes,
and so he would do the greeting on you. Would you do it to him too? I mean, it would be this
yes,
symbiotic chain. Wow. And,
definitely.
and then when you were going through labor in the hospital, did Angie do some BioTouch on you?
She did
Like,
like right before she left.
uh huh,
Because there was like, it was a long
sure,
process, a lot going on. But and Angie and I also did BioTouch at our like meetings before
uh
actually
huh,
going into labor. So that was fun. And she has her own kids, and I know she's been trying it with them, which is exciting.
right.
I do want to mention, so I had one day where I just overdid it while being pregnant. I decided it would be a great idea to reorganize three of my closets. So being bent over while pregnant, and then I had I think a board meeting, and that night I went into Braxton Hicks and was just in terrible pain. And so that was the time where I was like sitting there crying, not knowing what to do. And my husband comes in, he's like, "I heard, like, is everything okay? I hear you crying." And I was like, "I'm just in pain." He's like, "Okay, well, lay down, let's do the greeting, the abdomen set." And I was like, oh, like, because sometimes when you're in an intense amount of pain, you don't think of what you actually need. So it
Right.
was amazing to have him come in and be like, "This is my suggestion. Like, let's do this together." And, Braxton Hicks stopped, was able to carry her to full term because that was like in the 20 weeks zone. So it was still pretty early to even have
Wow.
Braxton Hicks, I think.
So you
I'm
were
not
had a lot of pain, a lot of fear.
Yes, yeah, like just had no idea what was going on. And it was funny because when I actually went into labor, I was like, "Oh, this is just Braxton Hicks again." Nope, it was the real thing. 23 hours later, that was my bundle of joy.
Wow. Well, that's pretty cool that your husband Matt could actually work on you, and that was his go-to. It was
Right.
simple to do. It was just, that's exciting to us. This is the idea, folks. We're trying to get families to use this technique and the husband to participate in the pregnancy. I always like to tell men, you really want to understand the pain that these women are going through. Lay on the floor, put a watermelon on your belly, and try to stand up.
Yep. And we had him do that, and it was hilarious. And I was like, "Oh man, that's what I look like every time I just get off the couch."
Right. It's like, now how the hell do I move this body to get up? So
Right.
so yeah, so BioTouch, simple, folks. It's a little greeting, a little local. We're not talking about a long period of time to have to worry about doing this stuff. It's not a 20-30 minute thing. I mean, how long did that take you? When did he work on just a couple of minutes and you were already
Yeah.
feeling relief?
Yeah. I mean, he did the greeting, and I already started to like breathe easier. And then it took him a little bit because he hadn't done the abdomen set in a while. So, looking at the book, then working on me. So, but still, I mean, it was minutes, and I
Wow.
felt better. And I felt like I could do this, like reconfirmed
Well,
it.
and that's another good part of BioTouch. Yeah, it gives you the strength, the inner strength, the ability to know, hey, this is going to be okay, and
Right.
that's a big part, I think, of BioTouch. Is, if nothing else, it gives you that inner strength. As the body's going through its massive changes. I mean,
Right.
it was amazing watching you go through physical changes, look different. I mean, just watching you sort of freak out. I'm like, oh, there she goes, motherhood.
Yep. That's a great way to put
Yeah,
it.
and I remember you're like, "Oh, it's all right. I'll be able to do everything afterwards too." So we'll get into
Yeah.
that
And
in a minute. You're right. It's like, oh yeah, right. I'm
now
supposed
I
to
just am happy with a good night of sleep.
right. Like I was supposed to meet you at 9:15. At a quarter
Right.
two, you come on, find out. Well, I had to nurse and I had to do this. Like your life doesn't revolve around your clock anymore.
It sure does it.
So let's go a little further. So you had some, during the delivery, and
Mhm.
you come out and you go home. And how did you use BioTouch, at home, and how have you been using it recently?
So, as someone that, is connected to their intuition, as we all can be, but
Right?
I found myself questioning myself on everything.
Huh.
Like even giving her massage, although being a massage therapist for 10 years, I was questioning it because the things they would tell me at the hospital just made me question everything, I guess, because, that's a whole different thing. But the one thing I didn't question was BioTouch. Like I knew I could give her the greeting. If she's feeling a little tummy ache, I knew I had something that I could turn to that would take seconds. And if she would try to get away from me, especially now that she's almost crawling, I can get those points for as long as I can get them. And I mean, we do it at least weekly.
Uh-huh.
Which is really helpful. Last night when I couldn't sleep because I was just laying there and then my dog woke me up after finally falling asleep. I laid back down and I said, well, I'm very angry right now, but I can, I finally got to, but I can think of someone doing the greeting on me right now and just like let it go, because sitting here in my anger isn't going to get me any sleep. I'm
Right.
still, I eventually have to fall to sleep and then eventually have to wake up. So it's having something I can turn to that takes seconds.
And so, have you? And I'm going to show the family. Here's the family. There you go. The lovely little family. It's on her Facebook page. Her and her husband, and the little one there. They're all just, and it looks like she's even touching two fingers there. So, have you done BioTouch with her? Like, if you're going to wash her or something, and you just
Yes.
do the greeting and things like that, just using it in a day-to-day situation.
Yes. So she was born with a heart murmur.
Hmm.
Um, so one of the main things we always try to do is the greeting, the stress set, and the heart set. So that will, I mean, I would like to say I do it every day, but
Right.
it doesn't always happen. So after a bath, before we get our PJs on, or um, whenever I'm changing a diaper and just kind of think of it, I don't always get to wash my hands first, but I would rather just do the greeting and then change the diaper and
Right.
go about my day instead of being like, so yes, we do it several times a week at least,
Right.
because it's something we turn to. So
And I think that's important for people to know. It's not about daily. It's not about how long it is. I mean, a few times a week, that little child is learning BioTouch as part of its life. It's not going to
right.
have to worry about why BioTouch works or does it work, and it's going to be cool when finally she can use these little fingers, and we're going to have
Yes.
pictures of her working on mom and dad and posting those kinds of things. So that's the goal. And we've always told people too, just do the greeting as you're doing the bath, because your fingers are somehow going to touch. You're holding that child all kinds of different ways. So again, just doing the greeting, which we're going to show people how to do here. So has there been any particular emergencies that have come up so far with Maisie that you've had a chance to practice BioTouch?
Well, those nights where, she wouldn't fall asleep and we're both about to lose it, that was good for us because we could turn to the greeting, be like, okay, she's still crying, but like we have some sanity. Because in the beginning we thought she even had colic or, something just wasn't going on. It was from her legs being adjusted differently while she was uh born. So like we've had her adjusted and everything. We go to an osteopath. Um, so there isn't like an exact emergency, but there have definitely been times where she's just screaming her head off. And if we didn't have BioTouch, it would have felt like we were hopeless.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because I think that's a pretty common one I hear with these,
Yes.
is that baby screaming and you can't get them to be quiet.
Right. And there's nothing you can do in some of those situations except for you can show up for yourself. You can do
Right.
something, and they always say like put the baby safely down and step away for a minute. Well, I would do that, or I'd be like, I need the greeting. Like, get in here kind of
Right.
thing.
So it would be really interesting to take Maisie's hand, even to just take it and while you're holding her or breastfeeding, take that
Yeah.
little finger and
Oh, we
and
do that.
oh, do you really?
I
Really?
yeah, because she grabs onto me, so sometimes I'll be like, nope, and like just put her fingers, or her hand just sometimes goes right to greeting point one, and like that's just where she rests, and it's just, it gets me really excited for the future, because I do hope she'll follow and want to learn BioTouch, and
Well,
become a
it's. Uh,
all that.
I mean, I hate to be a pusher, but yeah, it's not really a choice.
Right? That's true.
There are certain things that we teach our children, like brushing their teeth, sitting at the table and eating. There are certain protocols in a particular society that we teach them, and I think I've always said, BioTouch is not really a choice.
Right.
It's a
That's true.
lifestyle, and it just needs to be part of our life, just like teaching our children to brush their teeth or wash their hands.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, to have them doing and knowing that they can always do that greeting or an infection point or an allergy point or, so I look forward to being the heavy hand on you and your family
Perfect.
to say, no, no, it's not she's not,
Right.
she's already chosen you to be her parents. So
Right. That's true.
that's enough.
It will be a choice of when she becomes a certified practitioner.
Yeah, if she won,
Yeah.
and that's the other part of it. We're not really concerned about people being certified practitioners. We
Right.
just want people to make this a part of their life. So we're going to take a moment here and come back with Kai. We're going to show you how to do the greeting. Again, 30 seconds for you to do it on somebody and for them to do it on you.
The greeting is always performed at the beginning of each session. It's the only set that uses one hand and the only set that indicates which hand to use. The greeting is performed with the dominant hand. If you are right-handed, use your right hand. If you are left-handed, use your left hand. The greeting is made by touching at point 1, which is in the fleshy area just below the bottom of the breastbone or sternum. Hold this point for 6 to 8 seconds. Then, with the same 2 fingers, touch point 2 on the back. To find point 2, look for the big bone at the base of the neck. From here, move 1 to 1.5 inches to the left. This is point 2. Hold this point for 6 to 8 seconds. More than one associate may work with a recipient provided that all of the associates perform the greeting. If the associate or the recipient leaves the session, or if someone who hasn't done the greeting touches either the recipient or the associate, the greeting must be reestablished. Then the session may proceed from where it was interrupted.
There you go. And there's a family. Mom and
Yes.
dad and their son, and there's even a picture later on our video of the little infant that they have, and they've been working on BioTouch. So that was a BioTouch family too, and here it is, 20-something years later, and you're now leading the way for all of these new families and mothers and fathers and babies coming into the world. Anything else you'd like to share about your work with BioTouch, or again, her website, awakeninnate.healing.com, if you're interested in some of the work that Kai does personally as she incorporates BioTouch, and as she's just becoming one of the most awesome mothers on the planet.
Well, thank you. I would just say to any moms out there thinking about doing it, just do it. Like, get out of your own way and just do it. Because I just touch, because I waited longer than I should have, because this could have been in my life even earlier. So just do it.
Well, we're grateful it's in it now. We thank Matt for all his support. Maisie,
Yes.
there's that beautiful little family. We look forward to having BioTouch be part of their life and them being part of our life. Kai, this was awesome. Thank you for stepping in for Bev. It's always a pleasure to work with you.
Of course, thank you for having me. And I would like to just thank Angie one more time for being my incredible doula.
She is awesome, and I love her post. She is one crazy lady out there, just
She is.
really trying to change the world. So if you're a doula out there, you can get CE credits for taking our class. We do have a class coming up September 7th. 8 CE credits for massage therapists, doulas, and nurses. So we hope you'll join us, get some CE credits. And again, thank you, Kai, and we'll see you all next week, hopefully back with Bev.
Thanks, Paul.
Bye, dear.
Bye, everyone.
I can feel the pain in sunshine or rain. So it's not caused by the weather, but it doesn't hurt that much after I feel your loving touch and we spend some time together. You take my pain away each and every day. You're an angel from heaven on high. Your butterfly touch helps me heal so much, and I get better as time goes by. You take my pain